Hello, and welcome to So Much Game with another episode of Words That Make Worlds. And with me tonight is, other side.
It's me. I'm here.
Yeah, is Meghan Murphy, who you may know from $2 Creature Feature and her very own Twitch channel. And Meghan, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Aha, yes, I am Meghan Murphy, sometimes known as Murphy Pop, but I need to apply that more like regular. So who knows? I do TTRPG streams and podcasts like $2 Creature Feature, which I'm very proud of. I do other various streams. You can see it on my socials. Who knows what I'm doing now? And from a week or a month later. I also I stream on Twitch. I do art streams and game streams as Murphy Pop Art. Regular schedule, what's that? That's just when I want to have fun and turn on the camera and talk a little. I also other podcast stuff. I'm part of a podcast called Anomaly Presents, which is connected to the Genre Film Fest I helped found and run here in Rochester, New York. And that podcast, we talk about the genre films that inspired us to make a genre film festival. So it's a bunch of movie nerds talking about like, hey, this is that weird movie. Remember when you would rent it on VHS and it messed your head up at a way too young age? And we talk about it for an hour.
Sounds awesome. We can
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about that in a bit as well. It was actually on my list of questions that I made.
Yes,
So
excellent.
Hey, I'm prepared. Anyway, so today I believe that you had a plan for what you wanted to build, and then I had a plan for how to try and create something.
Perfect.
And we put those two together. So,
Yeah.
what was it you wanted
I was
to create?
Yeah, I was thinking like I'm always a fan of small strange towns, and maybe because we just spent the last season of $2 Creature Feature in a small strange town known as Jupiter Hollow, but I guess even before that there is something appealing about like a place where for the people living there like it's normal, but on the outside you're like you live in a nightmare. I like those settings, you know. So to
Yeah,
play around with
oh,
that will be fun.
totally. Well, so on that note, I actually had something that I was working on that I haven't actually gotten around to finishing yet, which is basically a small TTRPG based on people living in just that kind of town, and then something strange happens.
Oh,
But the questions for making your own little strange town, I do have, so we can
it's
use
perfect.
those. There you go.
Yes.
So basically, the idea is there's a list of questions, and we'll run through them. And you alternate between each question, between answering with a mundane fact about the town, like what's the town's name? It's called, I don't know, something normal, which I can't think of at the moment. So that's going to go well.
Oh, it's gonna be rough. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the next question could be something else like how big is the town or what's unique about the geography around it. And then you answer with something strange, something mysterious, something occult, something creepy, something completely out of the
Love it.
and so yeah, you just alternate on that, and then on the last question you answer both.
Oh, I got you. I got it. Okay. Yeah.
And if you want to kick it up to the advanced level, for each question you answer, you also come up with a name and a 2 or 3 word description of the opposite. So if you're answering something strange, you just come up with like
nice.
the name of a pub that's there, and or the name of a person, but they're a bit weird.
Okay.
There
All
we
right.
go.
Okay.
So, should we give that a go?
Yeah. Let's do it.
I like your enthusiasm.
It's too late. We're doing it, so I have to do it. So we're doing it.
There you go. So this strange town development system is called the strange towns that just mean home to us.
I love it.
And the first question is, and you can basically, this is the point where you're going to choose if you start off with mundane answers or strange answers. where do we find ourselves?
Hmm. I don't know if this would be considered a regular or a strange answer because I do like names that could
Ambiguous
sound
stuff.
regular. Yeah, yeah. I was thinking I definitely like places that have like end, like something's end. But I was thinking, and slightly inspired by your background, I was like, okay, maybe something celestial or something. So how about like Orion's End?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
So we're in the town of Orion's End. And is that's now we're gonna have to decide, is that what the people call it? Or
Ah, gotcha.
is there a cult
Hmm.
in town that calls it that? Is
Oh,
there a history of the
I
place
got
where
this.
it's
I
named that?
you've already introduced a cult, which is one of my favorite things.
Oh well, there you go.
Um, yeah, okay, then yeah, I would say if there is a homey little cult there, and they live there for a reason, I think they would call it Star Home. They call it Star Home because that's where they see the exact place Orion has to be for when it
Yeah.
happens.
Okay. Wow. Nice.
Dirty,
Good
dirty,
start.
creepy. I love it.
um I mean, I think we've also added on the advanced bit as well. We've got
Oh,
Star Home now with there's a cult. They call it Star.
well, yeah.
Uh, um what's unique about the geography here?
I think this feeds into partly why the cult's here, but also others. I feel like there's definitely a beach. So it's on the edge of some larger water. I know what I want. Here's it. And maybe this is partly me. I live near a Great Lake,
Uh,
so it
that's kind
feels
of like
almost like an ocean. Like I cannot stay. I If I go far enough, I'll hit Toronto. So I kind of like the idea it's a lake, but you're not exactly sure what's on the other side. There's definitely something on the other side. So it's on a lake, and I definitely there's definitely there's a hill. There's
uh,
a hill, and that's like the viewing point.
uh,
And most people are like, "Oh,
flick
it's
of the lake.
lovely. It's Orion's End. It feels like it ends here. We go there, we stare at the sky and the stars, and it's nice and clear. There's no like light pollution or anything. It's just a very dark hill. I think it overlooks the beach, and it's very tall. And that's kind of like the main like geographical thing of this town.
Okay. And so that's what's brought the cult here as well.
Oh yeah, yeah, that just happened.
Do you want to add a well? What answer is this? Is this a mundane answer or is
Oh,
it a
okay.
strange answer?
No,
Would
I
you
feel like
say?
the hill itself is mundane, like that, and
Yeah.
like there being a large
Okay.
lake. That's fairly mundane.
Yeah. So, do you want to create something strange? Just one name and
Oh yeah,
2 to 3 words that
yeah. Oh,
exists in the town.
well, we have a large and deep lake, so a cryptid absolutely lives in there. The cult doesn't know though. It's weird. They're really focused on looking up, and I think it is definitely Nessie related. So I feel like let's see. I know like Lake Champlain has Champy, and there's a couple. Let me see here. I feel like we
No.
want to do it all stars. Yeah, yeah. I think you know what? Okay, I like this. I think they do a lot of like celestial naming here. So I think it's Lake Mars. And so the people who know it exists have give it a cute little nickname like the Mars Monster. Nothing super deep, but like, oh yeah, that's where the Mars Monster lives. I saw two
Which
humps once.
is probably very confusing for cryptid hunters who come from outer
Oh yeah.
state to like, is it a monster from Mars?
Oh yeah,
What's
no,
going on?
the
And then they're getting
locals
it. No,
like
no, the
yeah.
lake's called Mars.
Well, Mars. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's just the extra little that makes sense to the locals. Anyone outside, what?
Perfect strange town. Um, yeah.
It's also red, though.
The
The hunter
lake, the
is red.
monster. Oh, the
Yeah.
monster.
Well, also the I think not to go too bad, the lake is too. It has a reddish tint, which is very odd.
Is there like some copper going into it or
There's
I don't
something.
know.
Something's happening in that lake.
Yeah. Okay.
They don't ask too many questions.
Yeah. this place is getting out of hand. Uh, yeah. So, would you say that's like your favorite kind of theme? Probably also leads into the genre films as well.
Oh, probably. Like we've already added a cult, some like a cryptid, and there might be more, which are two of my favorite things. I'm very fascinated by both of those. Not in a like, oh, cults are cute and quirky. No, they're terrifying, but I find them terrifying because it's people.
Yeah.
Like, cryptid I get. Cryptids just living their lives. A cult's terrifying because people made it and people believe it, and people will continue to believe it no matter like how you try to convince them
How
it's not.
much?
That's
Yeah.
terrifying. That's one of the scariest things to me. So I'm always kind of I like threading that in there a little because I think because it's personally scary to me. If I'm trying to do kind of something horror based, oh good. If it scares me, let's go. And
Yeah,
yeah, I
I
guess yeah.
think yeah. I mean that's one of the well the easiest ways to do a horror game, isn't it? Just come up with the things that scare you.
Yeah. I'm like, oh no, this isn't a hard improv.
Yeah,
This is yeah.
no,
And I
this is
guess it does lead
scary.
into like, yeah, it does lead into like genre and horror films. Because when I was a kid, I hated horror. I was terrified, not to age myself too much, but going to like the rental stores, there's a whole section I knew not even to look at, not even to look at, and yet my eye would keep going. Like, it's like that horror and fascination are like
Yeah,
two sides of the same coin.
yeah.
And okay, this sound weird. Really, how when I remember like the switch flipping was I couldn't watch the Thriller video. I had to leave the room. It was too scary for me. But they started showing this making of, and I forget when they did that, but they started showing that a lot. They repeated stuff on MTV a lot, and I got really fascinated by the process. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. And like you've got not that I thought it was real, but having it broken down in a creative way kind of unlocked something in my head. And I was like, oh, this is an art form. People they do the makeup and they make the costumes and they do the lighting and I don't think it was an instant, but that's exactly the time where I remember going, oh, I mean, I can watch this video now. What else can I do? And it turned out, oh no, I love this. This is almost comforting at this point to me.
Yeah.
It's been quite a circle,
I
like or
suppose
180.
at that point you also look at it differently as well. Like
Oh yeah, exactly
the
it.
moment you become interested in how did they make this?
Yeah, no, I think it was weird. I think it was like the art side of my brain just was like, oh, it's a thing that is made. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
that's great.
I'm all in. Oh my
Yeah,
god, that's great blood. Or just like really into like body horror, partly because I'm like, they made that.
yeah,
That they
yeah,
did one specifically. I was like, it's fascinating now.
yeah. No, I totally understand. I still personally don't like horror films, but
Oh, I understand. Like sincerely. My whole thing is I'm never gonna judge what someone likes or dislikes. Some of it's just gut stuff,
yeah,
you know? Plus horror is a not to go off in too much tangent, it's a giant genre.
that's. I don't know if I told you this beforehand, but that's basically what this show is
Yes.
about.
But I feel like horror is as large as drama or comedy. And like you never like every drama. You'll never like every comedy. Even me, there's horror. I'm like, no thanks. Pass, because it's big.
Yeah,
You talk about like drama is like it can be like either sadness or emotion and comedy is laughing, and that's all like lizard brain stuff. And horror is fear, which is lizard brain stuff. These are the genres that are like beyond rational thought sometimes. So it's visceral. So I get it. I'm like, listen,
yeah.
I'd love to try to find horror that people who don't like horror like, but I would never force because like I want you to enjoy it. I want to like it's a sommelier. I like to be like a sommelier with movies. What would you like? I'm not gonna try to make you watch something I like and make like watch it, enjoy it. I'm like, I can find something you'd like.
That
I
you
can
would,
do that.
yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
get that. I do that with whiskey.
There we go. There.
No, yeah. Right. Next question. How big is the town?
Hmm. Well, it's definitely not a large city. That's not what we're
I
talking
mean,
about here.
also just to point out, we've had our mundane questions, so this has got to
Oh,
be something strange.
okay. Well, okay. You know what? Not okay. So recently, we did a one shot in $2 creature feature where we played Absurdia with the
Oh
Absurdia
yeah,
system.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
listened to it. So
oh, and I like the idea. So like there, we were in an apartment building, which
yeah,
just seemed to have people show up, and right, and
yeah,
so it's probably hard to track the numbers. I kind of like that idea for a town, and that people end up there. Either they need to be or somehow they are, and then so it's the population, the size is a little fluctuating. When you're inside, you don't notice it. When you're out, I feel like they have one of those population signs. It's like Orion's End,
yeah.
and it's like blurry, like either rain on it or you're like
Yeah.
rubbing your glass, and you can
Every
never
time
quite
you
focus.
arrive, it's kind of
Yeah,
it's even dark.
yeah, and a photo, yeah, the photo is always just like a shaft of light or something.
Yeah, I like that.
It has as many people and is as big as it needs to be at whatever moment it needs to be. The
Yeah,
town knows what it needs to be.
I like this town.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, one mundane name and a 3-word descriptor of what it
Ah,
is.
okay. Well, I'm gonna add a person because I feel they need they need the male person, and that's an interesting job here since it shifts. So I feel like okay. Her name is Clarice. Her name is Clarice, and she can't tell
You're
you how
already
long.
making notes. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I have to, or I will forget what I said
I
five
have a
minutes ago.
recording.
I think she's slightly different in that, like, she always knows at the time she's about to do the deliveries where everything is and who's there, even if that shifts day to day. I think she's slightly aware that like she has to take a second, and she's got a bike. Like it's weird because no matter how big or small it is at times, it's just a bike with like two of those little saddlebags in it, and that always is
That's
enough.
all. Yeah.
Always is enough.
So does she subconsciously know, or is it like there's a level of she has an
Yeah.
inclination that something is
I
strange?
I would say this because she faces it every day in a way that not everyone else does. She's definitely one of the people who like, if I look too hard at this, it might all fall apart. You know,
Yeah.
she senses something's off, and this would not be the way it was anywhere else. But I think that's partly why she's happy where she is. She likes being like the male person for this odd little town because again, always has like it's always enough mail. All everything always gets delivered, always picks up, always sees people on the route, and she always knows them, no matter if they were there yesterday or not. She likes the vibe, so she doesn't want to look into it too deeply.
Yeah. Cool. Do you like creating NPCs like that or PCs?
Oh,
What is your process for that?
I gotcha. I think like I've only really started doing like running my own games like recently. So it took me a while to find my my style. Cause I used to go like you know when I see TTRPGs as like just D&D, I'm like, well, there's no way I can run an epic, crunchy fantasy game that you meet like every week or every month and it goes on for years. I'm like, that's just not how my head works. So I guess I'll never do it. Like literally, I was like, because that's the only kind that exists. So in the last, few years, as I've got to see all these amazing different systems and different ways to tell stories and not to shout out Monster of the Week again, but like, oh, that's great. I love settings like that
Yeah.
where you have play your character sheet can be 2 pages. You got like 5 stats, you got some moves, and that's enough to have structure, but also freedom.
Yeah.
So when I started running smaller stuff, like little one shots, I found that I do like NPCs because it's like mini characters. Like, what if you had a character like I don't want to make a sheet for them, but I like their idea? Boom, you know. I created this little. I was running trash pails for a one shot, and someone played a possum and was like, "Oh, I have like all these other like little animals hang out on me, and I don't even notice it." And I was like, "Oh my god, I love this idea!" And I created a little baby possum named like Cherry. Hey, is this the last stop on the bus? And that was such a fun thing because then we just like a character I didn't plan when we started the one shot. It was not in my notes. Became like this running little character that helped that player's character do stuff, you know? I like that. I like a useful NPC that can do something with another player's character and help tell that story and bring that character out.
I mean, I think that is one of the major fun aspects of being a GM. You
Yeah,
get into situations you can't plan everything beforehand. That's impossible. And there's always
yeah,
going to be things that come out, like an NPC that you come up with on the spot that
yeah,
everyone loves. And you're
yeah.
like,
Oh
no,
yeah,
I was just trying to fill a hole there because you put me in a situation where I
yeah.
had to.
I had to create somebody. But I think I think it makes more sense because literally that's coming from the soil of the game. Like you know you've already kind of started and you're always already kind of feeling how it's going. So then you can't create that NPC before because you didn't know. Now
Yeah.
you know. You're like, oh, okay, it's also it's terrifying, but it's fun. Like, okay, I just made a little person. What's gonna happen?
So would you say you're more of a seat of the pants GM
I,
or a prepper or
I mean, I would say this. Oh, and so again, I've only really done like small things in one shots, right? So I can only talk from like that experience. So like for a one shot, right? I feel like I've gotten a little better because I realized here's what I have to do for a one shot, especially if you have like a time period. There's 3 hours. Fine. I write a beginning. That's where you need the structure. You need the beginning, write it as you're just starting it, right? So literally I'll write a paragraph or two as like I just did like a Christmas one. So I wrote it like a movie, like our pan in, just to set it. Then once you introduce the characters, the rest is like a less and less detailed skeleton.
yeah.
I'll have a little at the end, especially for one shot, like I want to have a resolution. So I wrote a villain speech. I was like, okay, they're gonna meet this evil billionaire CEO, and he's gonna have because obviously I think he's the kind of guy who would have it pre-written. But besides that, I like to do it
What
like
a
an
prompt.
accordion. Yeah, yeah. Like I was like, listen, I have 3 to 4-ish scenes. Depending on how the time's going, I have a couple things I could complications I can add, or that's gone. You know what? You had way less of a problem with that. You don't even have to roll for that because you did it before. And I think that has made it more. So I pre-plan up to a point, knowing that as it goes, I am needed less and less. Because if I'm doing it right, the players are filling everything
Take
in because
over. Yeah.
they'll tell the story with you. I don't have to have every detail. That's on. I'll literally go describe that to me. I love doing that, and I like as a player having that done to me. Like make me part of creating stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, oh god, it helped actually. I was like, oh my god, I can GM because I don't have to write everything. I don't even have to write half of this. I got to do the beginning, and then just kind of keep everyone going.
Yeah.
Throw a wrench in every once in a while if it's been too easy. But mainly, my whole thing is like the players having a good time. That's my favorite thing. If people are super happy at the end, like if I gave them, I like to ask them, hey, but like we do like a session one, like a session zero,
Yeah.
and I'm like, hey, what's one thing you want your character to do or say? And that actually helps me structure because I'm like, if nothing else, they get to do that thing somehow. They get to like make someone's holiday or literally. We had talked about a gummy worm trebuchet, so I had to make sure they got that at some point. I was like, that's less work for me. I just have to have this list and know
Is
when to
that less
drag stuff
work?
in. But
Yeah, where are we
yeah,
going to pull that in?
yeah. Turns out being a GM is giving yourself less work.
Uh,
This is collaborative. But anyway, I was like, oh crap, I can do this. I just had to reevaluate how I
yeah.
saw it in my brain.
That, I mean, if you've never GM before, there's a lot of like some GMs make it seem like, well, some of them are just geniuses that have
Oh
ability
yeah, yeah.
things going.
They've got novels in their head. They've got every
But
book
yeah,
in that system. Yep.
but a lot of us are just
Huh.
winging it.
Oh
Like,
yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, sure, that thing you just said is what happened. Yeah, yeah, sure.
Exactly. Yes, and thank you. I was a
Yeah.
little not sure how you were going to get out of that. Yeah,
Okay, then we'll roll with this.
yeah. Oh, we'll roll with it. I love that because it's like, yeah, because it is. You're telling a story together,
Yeah.
and that is actually a relief. That's a joy. That's a oh, thank God.
Right. What used to be here?
Oh, hmm. Is this a creepy question or a mundane question?
This is a mundane question, but
Ah, hmm.
to be
Oh,
fair, if you want to swap it up,
yeah.
I'm not renowned as a stickler for the rules. In
Well, I feel like this because it's a mystery. There is this like indentation, which could be carved out from glaciers, or it could be, but it oddly is shaped kind of like how Orion's body would be to fill out the constellation, as if a large figure at some point had fallen here. But of course, there's scientific answers. There's like, it was probably just like tectonic plate stuff. It's fine. Except for there's like, I think 3 little like stone formations about where the belt would be. Here in the outline. Like there's weird little things that match, but maybe it's kids.
Coincidences happen all the time.
Coincidence, exactly. The cult has a different thought process on this.
Do you think that's what led to the creation of the cult, or were they led there?
That's a good point. Like they I do like a cult being used. I think I would say this. I think the first cult members, they found the hill and they said, what a beautiful place to look up. And they were taken by this idea all of a sudden. Like all of a sudden the sky widened and the constellation came into view, and they had a feeling of purpose they'd never had before. And then they stayed in the town. So I almost feel like they couldn't tell you who the leader is.
Yeah.
They couldn't tell you. There is a cottage where the leader is, which has lots of other little cottages. Like it's a little classic compound, but no one could ever describe who the leader is. No one could. They know that they're there and they listen to them all the time and they follow their words. But also, it's like there's a little cloud anytime someone asks them a direct question.
It's like the sign. It's like the population sign.
Yeah.
Anytime you want to look at it.
Yeah. And so if you live there, you learn to like not ask certain direct questions because you'll never get the answer anyway. And then you start wondering why you wondered anyway. You're fine here.
And then after a while, your head hurts.
Yeah, your head hurts. So then, their pharmacy, their like little pharmacy, half of it is just like Tylenol, ibuprofen, full half. Sunglasses. It's easier sometimes if you don't look directly at things.
Yeah.
Except it's
one
cloudy.
Of the few towns where people continuously wear sunglasses throughout the winter.
All the time.
Rather so not cool. see.
Yeah. Just not. I just care about my eye health. That's all.
Okay. The next question. This is going to be a good one to answer. What is the town called? Because we already have a name. So. It's got to be something else.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it's Orion's End to the town, folks. It is what did we call it? It is Star Home for the Cult. I think just like on a map, like on a map, it has some name like Johnston. Like just the most boring. Like if something was trying to hide where they were and not want anyone to like ask any questions or go there. Johnston, like Johnstown, sorta. It's just together, like Johnstown. Just again, kind of a block that make you go, "Why would I even stop at that place?" It sounds the most boring thing ever.
Yeah,
more boring than you think it would be. Just your brain starts like moving it off the map.
And what name does it say on the sign then above the?
Good question. It depends on which side you're looking at it. If you're looking at it from inside the town, you can see that it says Orion's End. Of course it does.
Yeah.
If you're looking the other way, it says Johnstown, but like it's not a super legible font. Yeah. And it looks a little like faded, like, oh, there's not gonna be nothing here. Don't stop here. It's fine. There's definitely like we don't have a gas station. There's no McDonald's.
It doesn't even have that like 20 thingy list of like the Rotary clubs here.
No, not the Rotary club. Yeah, there's just again like almost like nothing. There's no bathrooms here.
It says keep going by the cult.
Yeah, I think they tried to put that up.
People could
keep falling off. Yeah.
So what is something only people from the town understand?
I mean that's a lot of things, but I want to try something
Yeah.
specific.
You can come up
Hmm.
with a lot of things. I mean,
Yeah,
it's your
I think they
town.
have a lot. That is true. Okay. Um, I think one of the things they understand is if you stay on a road, you'll eventually end up back at your house. Like, don't worry
Yeah.
about it. Just whatever road you're on, you just keep walking,
Oh my
and you'll end up back exactly where you need to be. Don't worry about it.
god.
And
Don't
and
worry
the folks
about
there
it.
find it.
Put
Yeah,
your sunglasses on.
yeah. And again, people who are there find that oddly comforting. They're like, it's fine. Let's go. I'll always end up back home. I don't have to worry about anything. And why would I leave? Why? So definitely that.
Yeah.
I also think, and just as a fun thing, they have a their own little candy. It's called Mars Pieces. And they're just little red things, and it comes in a little tin, and it has a little picture of Mars Lake with like a couple little red humps. uh, they they understand that they're delicious and they're their favorite candy. It's everyone's favorite candy. There's no ingredient list on it, and they can never remember a truck coming in to put it in the shop. It's just there. Like it's usually
It's
stocked.
always in supply.
It's always in supply. Yeah.
Now, I feel like this is definitely your specialty. What does it taste like?
Oh, okay. Yes. I like this. I think it weirdly starts salty, but then it tastes red.
The thing is, you're saying that I can imagine that taste.
Yeah. It tastes red. Like you ask anybody, oh, it's red. It's what red tastes like. That's what another thing that everyone in this town knows what red tastes like.
Tastes like. Yeah, there you go. Is there anyone else or any place else you want to add to the town at this point? With a little
Mm.
3 word descriptor.
Oh, I don't know. Well, okay, I guess okay. You know what? I feel like they're like a pharmacy or like a chemist. If I want to, but also it's like a sweet shop. It's like it's a little old fashioned. And let's see. Yeah,
With like the glass
and
jars full of sweets.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think it's called Starry Sweets. Yeah, but then under it says and and also headache medicine. Just not a big. I think it started as a sweet shop and then was like,
And they were
oh,
like, yeah, there's
yeah.
a lot of ask for a pharmacy. We
There's
should.
a lot to ask.
We
Yeah, so it
should
definitely has all those jars.
yeah.
There is one whole display of the Mars
Yeah.
pieces, but yeah, I think actually it's a town
I
with a
lo-
sweet tooth.
yeah, I like the idea of like they've got all the jars with the sweets, the display and stuff, and then they've got a bunch of other jars filled with ibuprofen.
Oh yeah. But they had jars. They're like, what?
Yeah,
So they take little
just
scoops and
display.
put it out in a little paper bag, no matter what you order. Yeah, I need some earplugs. I've got you. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Again, there's never a truck that comes in to supply this. This store just seems stocked.
Yeah. Let's see. What's the next one? What is the town center like?
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So we know the edge. There's down a lake. So the center. Hmm. Actually, I feel like that's it's not the body indentation. That's a far. Like, I feel like that's on like the other side. There's the lake, and then that's like maybe like the lake is the east. The oddly specific, kind of suspiciously body shaped glacier indentation is to the west. So in the center, I almost feel like everything kind of slopes down. Like you're kind of directed towards the town
Like
center.
a valley or
Yeah, like a little like a valley. Like the gravity takes you there when it needs to take you there. And I feel like I feel like there's a building there. I feel like there's a mayor, and the building is also where they live, and it's right in the center, and it's circular, and it has all these windows around it. Um, but He's usually busy, but no one knows what he does. So, it's usually a little sign is hung on. I feel like there's a variety of doors. There's like a window, door, window, door, window, door, all around in the circle. And they always usually have the same sign, which is like out for lunch. But he's there, always there for you. There's signs that say the mayor is always there for you. Just, don't worry, the mayor's got you. I'm here to listen. But that out to lunch sign's usually up. All 8 of them, let's say.
And does everyone know that the mayor's always there for them?
Yeah, they're like, it's okay. I mean, it's okay if he's out to lunch right now because he's always there. But he has to eat. But he's always there.
Yeah.
If I have any issues, the mayor is always there.
Okay. Well, I mean, you can give him or her a name.
I got you.
And
I
them,
think
unless
he's
they're
mayor.
once again.
He's mayor. He's Mayor Jack. Mayor Jack. I feel like he always has like when people have seen him more from afar. Like a black trench coat, black hat with a wide rim. Maybe you see a pair of like, gosh, it's weird that they look like they glow, but like two little like pinprick red things. It must just be the way the light is. And the other thing with Mayor Jack is, yeah, he's always there to listen, but at night you should close and lock your windows, or Mayor Jack
specifically from.
Yes. I mean, it is like they're like, oh no, because he's always listening. But we don't want to bother him at night, so we close and lock the windows. If you see a dark shape with red eyes, you close and then close the curtains too. Poor Mayor Jack. He's out there trying to listen to everybody. That's why we do this.
This is definitely, a very normal everyday town where nothing could possibly be going horribly wrong.
We're so lucky to have Mayor Jack. We've always had Mayor Jack.
Yeah.
That's why we can't have big lights up at night. There's no large street lamps. They're there, but they're covered, as if at one point there was street lamps.
Yeah. Does Mayor Jack have a habit of orientating towards the big lights? Or?
It seems rude to say. It's rude to say. It just seems nicer just to you just cover that stuff up, okay? You don't want to hear it thunk at night. It's not good for him.
Ah!
Yeah, basically. Good night, Mayor Jack.
Did you burn yourself again, Mayor Jack?
That's Mayor Jack. Says he's fine.
So, in keeping with Mayor Jack, what would you say your favorite sort of genres of horror film are then? Or, I mean, you could just list your favorites. That's also a possibility.
Oh, gosh. Oh, well, no. I could never list my favorites.
Film.
I got you. I feel like my favorites are often my mood,
Yeah.
I definitely like a good slasher. I do. Like, it's so weird to say I hated horror and then I like slashers, but I can appreciate both a structure and then ones that blow that structure up. I'm like, okay, because it sounds weird. Again, a slasher is almost comforting because I'm like, I know what I'm in for.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's a bunch of teenagers. I hate them all. I can't wait till they're gone. Yay! Hurrah! Not all of them, but like that's solid. I definitely I like a good monster film. Especially if the monster is sympathetic, or I'm like, yeah, like something like Pumpkinhead. I'm like, that's right, get these jerks. Destroy them. Thank you. And occasionally I guess I'm on the protagonist side, but I also
they have to work extra hard.
yeah, I'm like, look at your humans, what do you have to offer me? But also that I do love a good like character study. Like I was just watching Pearl, which is the prequel to X, and I love what they did with that, where you're both like, she's terrifying, but I get her, but she's a monster, but I like kind of having that like, and I kind of want her to get what she wants, but also she needs to be taken care of. Yeah. And I like it when you can play around with visuals. Like I think that's gorgeous. Gosh, I don't know. I like a good Christmas horror because 'tis the season. I love Krampus. And that's by Mike Doherty. who also did Trick or Treat, which is one of my absolute favorite. I love a good horror anthology. Oh, I love a good horror anthology because there's always like, ooh, there's one that's gonna be your favorite. So that's
Also,
always fun. Oh gosh, yeah.
I feel like when they start making it, like the first film, they go, "Oh, this is the film we're making," and then after that, they go, "Well, now we've got to start building this out somehow
Yeah.
if we're gonna make more of them. There's
Oh
got to be
yeah.
some background to this,
And also
which we
I love
didn't
something.
care about in the first film."
I mean, I also love a good like ridiculous horror film. Like I genuinely like Leprechaun 4. That's the one that's in space.
Yeah,
Because that's just they knew the movie they were making. I like Critters. Is it a Gremlins ripoff? Absolutely. But they're also little furry balls of teeth. They just like go around eating people. It's great. I don't ask for too much. But sometimes you just want little critters going around destroying stuff.
that seems fair.
Yeah. Oh, they're just hungry. They're just hungry. Just let them eat a couple
Yeah,
people.
aren't we all?
So, yeah,
Maybe not.
I'm like I'm basically a critter. I'm like round and hungry all the time.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Don't worry.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
And a
hungry
bunch of
right
other like
now.
I feel like I've already forgotten 5 other subgenres that I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, I should have brought it up. But like, yeah, usually it's I'll find something that'll be nice. Again, weirdly comforting sometimes. Other times I like a good challenge. Like, hey, show me something weird that makes me go,
uh,
I need my brain rewired.
yeah. Wish I hadn't seen that.
Oh,
Or
I'd be like, wow, that was great. I've never
I'm
seen
not
you do
gonna
that
watch it
again,
again.
though. Thanks. I'm good.
So, leading on from that, how did you get involved with Anomaly Festival?
Oh, So I
I
used
did my
to.
homework.
You did it. I see. Oh no, no, my secret. Gosh. Okay, so we just did our 5th year, so it's been 5 years. Before that, I used to go to this film festival thing in Austin, and I really enjoyed this. It was like this 24-hour film thing. You'd go and watch whatever got shown. And I'm like, this is great, but like this is once a year. And it's for me halfway across the country.
Yeah,
That's great, but like I would love something like that closer and something that I could help like, maybe not that, but I realized I enjoyed the theater going experience with a bunch of other people excited watching weird, strange, sometimes new stuff, right? So I was ended up talking to my friends. I kept bringing it up, specifically to my friends Matt and Adam, because Adam at the time was like the local movie reviewer, and I was like, why don't we live in Rochester? It's a movie town. We have the George Eastman House, like we have the Dryden Theater. It has like tens of thousands of films in there. It's the only theater this side of the Mississippi that can safely play nitrate films. We are of film. We've got so many film festivals. Why? Why don't we have like some sort of horror genre film festival? How did we allow this to happen here? And they agreed, and I kept bringing it up, and I think
wore
they
them
wanted
down.
it too. I wouldn't say like I was like the only C, but I was like I just in a selfish way I want to do this here at home,
Yeah,
but also like we need to fill a need, and that was it. Eventually, we were like, you know what, this is the year we're gonna do it. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna figure out everything of doing a film festival, like because we're like, how do you do it?
get
And
filmed.
well,
I
we
don't
did
know.
have some festivals to add. Yeah, we had some local festival connections, so we can at least
uh,
start there. And yeah, a lot of it was very much from a selfish desire to I would like to stay home, but also see stuff. And specifically in this situation, we like to do new independent genre films. Like there's some big like Marvel doesn't need our help. They're fine. This is fine. That is that genre, yeah, but that's not. We want to do stuff that like needs a little like get eyes to it, especially
yeah,
when a lot of stuff just kind of goes straight to streaming, which is good to see it, but also it gets buried. All this
yeah,
stuff kind of gets buried in a glut. So if we can show it in a theater with a bunch of people who just want to have an experience together, so that's cool as a community, but also hopefully like get a little like hey, you should go see like Skinamarink, which no one knew what the hell that was when we showed it. Like we ended up accidentally being the
really?
North American premiere
Wow.
because no one knew what
I
that
mean,
was.
yeah,
And
that's like a pretty big film then.
oh,
To
it was it was like before TikTok found out about
yeah, yeah,
it. So to be able to like show that to a theater of folks who just like had no we can write a description, but like it is a hard thing to describe. That was great. Plus, we get to do stuff
You
like,
will
okay, so I
be
don't know if you've seen the
scared
film.
and unsettled. There you
Yeah,
go.
they have this Fisher Price like phone that like shows up and is kind of
Yeah.
creepy in it. So we bought two of them, and we had one just on stage, and no one knew why it was there because they hadn't seen the film yet. And then about a half hour before it ends, it ended up being me. I walked into the theater with the other one wrapped up. Those things are loud, by the way. But I practiced. And I got behind in a seat behind one person, and I spent 5 minutes slowly lowering it on the floor and then kicking it, pushing it under their seat. And at the very end, we had one of our folks on the microphone be like, please, everyone, check under your seat. There is a loose cursed object, and we do not wish to have it. And it worked out because the person stayed. He looked under the seat and found this terrifying at this point phone. And the rest of the festival, he carried it around. And that's like one of the things why I like doing a festival, because like you won't get that at home.
No,
Like
true.
here we get to like make an event and celebrate and maybe freak someone out slightly with a Fisher Price toy phone for a second. But it's that. So it's
And a potato with too many eyes.
oh well, I mean, 1 second. I mean, does it live in my room with me? Maybe.
Apparently.
I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, it's a little hard. Hey,
Yeah,
this
it's
is my
yeah,
my many-eyed potato.
yeah.
They are like our mascot.
Mascot.
Um, potatoes started the first year as a weird joke that kept coming back, and now it's one of our main bits of content. Okay, buddy, I'm gonna throw you on the bed. Get ready. Oh, there we go. That's how invested I am in this festival. The potato lives with me.
Yeah. Keep it safe for next year.
Yeah. Yeah, I did get a whole bunch of people shouting potato and hail potato at one point as I held it on top. I held it aloft on stage. Well, my buddy brother Todd played dramatic music from his phone. So, you know, I mean, I love a movie festival, but we're more than movies. We're an experience.
Yeah. I think that's also one of the advantages of like if you organize it yourself without having a lot of big out of town stuff coming in to
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we get like
then
no one would
you
let us make
can
yeah.
make it how you want it.
Yeah, no one will let us make repeated potato jokes for absolutely no reason. But we are like, nah,
But we
that's
can.
us. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I was very lucky that the group of people that came together, and they're all my friends now. I didn't know everybody as we were putting together a group, but they're all my friends now, and they're all passionate weirdos who also happen to have skill sets necessary to put on a
That's
film
cool.
fest. Like, I'm so lucky.
Yeah. So there you go. That's something for everyone at home listening.
Yeah.
If you haven't been, go next year.
Yes.
Watching you. The potato is
Exactly.
watching you.
Watching me right now all the time. Anomaly Film Fest, both the website and on all the social medias. And I'm the social media manager, so it's whatever social media I feel like putting us.
So if you don't, if you don't say you'll go on social media, Megan will know.
I said, unless something actually happens, because technically, like they other people have access to it. Okay, so something weird happened. That wasn't me, but if you liked it, yeah, it was probably me.
That's good answer.
I have just enough plausible deniability.
Yeah.
I was like,
Uh,
someone else needs access to the social media just for safety. Just for safety.
just in case, you know.
Yeah, what if I get sick or something? I'm planning my escape.
Right. Ooh. Next one's a fun one as well. What's the most creepy thing about the town? I'm not sure anymore if we were on mundane or
Yeah, I don't.
supernatural, so just go with.
Oh God,
You can
the
do both.
creepiest. I love it. Okay, okay. Again, I would say for the town folks, they find this comforting. The cult members, they find this proof of. I feel like at night when you look up in the sky, there's these two red stars that are positioned just like eyes, and they seem directed just at this town.
Yeah.
If you were some sort of uh astronomer, I what are these? These are not like they are in no maps, no constellation maps, and no books. But in the town, they're like, ah, yes, those the stars, the eyes. Yes, we all know that constellation, and it never changes even as the seasons change. Those eyes are right
Like the
there.
sky moves, they're just both
Oh,
there.
they don't. Yeah. But they're like, ah. And I don't think the town people see them as eyes. They call them eyes because you call a constellation what looks.
Yeah.
But they do take comfort. Like if they ever get little sometimes oh no, wait, is this road gonna take me home? Or do I need to cover that land? They'll look up and go, ah, yes. Yes, I do. The thing I think I have to do, I have to do. And that is good. It is right.
Wow. I'm not sure at this point if this town should be investigated or if it should just be left alone.
I mean, you could try.
You could try.
I
Yeah, it
absolutely think
feels
there
like.
has been, yeah, there are people who live there now who maybe at one point were investigators. They're not sure.
I mean, at least they're still alive. Like I was
Oh,
fearing a Wicker Man situation.
oh no. Oh no, this is just a very nice town. It's just so nice that you end up wanting to stay.
Stay here.
Yeah. And you have a home already. It's so weird. You follow the road and you end up home.
The moment you come into town, like, oh, this is my house. Just
Oh, yeah. It's weird that I forgot. That's why I don't leave.
Yeah, you might forget again. And then, I mean, if you can't see
Yeah.
the stars, how will you know which
How
way?
would you exactly? Exactly.
Wow.
You can't see the eyes outside town. It's weird.
I I'm glad that it's going in this direction because when you said I want to make a strange town, I was like, I hope this will make a town strange enough.
Yeah.
But
No, don't worry. I got you. I got you. I feel like I'm holding back a little.
Oh, that's not necessary. When you do this sort of thing, what would you say like your major influences are? How did you how what led you in this direction anyway? They,
like like TTRPG style.
yeah,
Like the
yeah,
uh well I came late to it. I was definitely the shy geeky kid who read a D&D manual but had no one to play with. So I was like, I guess this is how I will experience it. But then online stuff, and I think I had a couple I would say two local oh, I'm in my 30s, let's try playing D&D and stuff, and it was fine,
yeah,
but it wasn't. I like role play, you
yeah.
know. And this was more, hey, if nothing else, I got my first experience of being absolutely railroaded, so I know what that is. Like, oh, this guy wrote a novel. And we're characters in the novel. I'm like, that's great. I felt like
Just
I'd
go
never
home
have
and
that
sit
experience.
behind your computer.
Yeah, I was like, okay,
Type it
that's
out,
good.
man.
Did okay, but it was like that. I was like, oh, okay. I guess I guess this
Yeah,
is it. I guess this is it. But then yeah, more online stuff started happening. Like you could kind of join up with folks, and actually the big thing for me is that for a little while B Dave Walters.
yeah,
He did
yeah, yeah,
yeah, Baron Temple, right?
yeah.
So for a bit, he offered live games,
Oh,
right? And
yeah,
a live
yeah,
vampire game. And I was just watching
yeah.
LA by Night. I'm like, okay, I'm really
Ah,
nervous, so nervous, sick to my stomach nervous. But I'm like, this will be my one shot just to see what this is like, right? I was like, I can afford it. I'm going to do a one shot. And I even had a plan of if I freaked out completely, I was just going to turn off my computer, say I had a tech issue, and not the word. I had to give myself an out because I was so nervous.
just like have a
Um,
can of Coke or something
yeah.
ready to just go.
And I could technically just clicked out of the call, but I was like, no, no, I was turning off the computer just in case. I had that plan. But instead, now did I do great? I have no idea. I've kind of blanked it out. But I did a whole like a one shot, and I was like, oh, this is kind of what I like. But two things came from that. One right out after that, he started this kind of Discord where there was like a play by type, play by type and stuff, which I had never done before. And then occasional live games, like it was part of a Patreon. And I got to learn, I think, fairly fast about creating a character. I actually played a second character, which I thought I couldn't do. I was like, there's no way I can run two characters at the same time. This is over 5 years. This is like 5 years ago, I think. It's 4 or 5 years ago. So things have changed. So I learned a lot there.
400.
Oh my God, right? Just learning how to tell a story with folks and just getting like the gist of it and having a lot of fun role play, right? The other thing is the one person who was in that like one shot with me, Chris, also known as the Primogen online, who he does like vampire and other videos on YouTube. He was just starting a Changeling the Dreaming stream on the Onyx path. And again, I don't like I stumbled through that entire one shot, but apparently I wasn't horrible because he's like, "Hey, do you want to be a part of this?" I'm like, "What, an online stream?" Like for realsy with like a camera and a microphone and everything. And that was my first stream, and I was very lucky in that we got to tell a whole story. Like we got to do a beginning, middle, and end, and I can the difference between how I was in that first couple ones where I'm still learning how to be like, can I watch chat? Couldn't even watch chat at first because I'm too confused. How do I track a sheet, stay engaged, make sure my mic and stuff is set? Like all that small stuff, which is stuff you just have to do. Till the end where I was like, at that point, like I had a confidence I didn't have before. And those two things really kind of like, I was like, well, damn, I got to do this all the time. Now I enjoy this quite a bit. And I met so many people through there that all kind of went on to do their own things. Like a lot of the folks I do stuff with now, I met through on that Discord, really, who like they kind of figured like found their own path and have started channels or run games or all of this, right? So that was the start, and I just ended up just keep going, kept doing. I did guest things, one shots, streams. Almost burnt out for a bit because then you go to the other side. It was like I'm doing everything all the time. I love it. And then
my
I found a
schedule
nice.
is actually 6 days a week. That's not good.
Oh my God, yeah. And I'm like, fine, you're not getting paid for this. I love the people who do, but like this is community theater for you, which doesn't mean bad talent. It just means you're not paying your bills with this. Take it down a notch because once you burn out, like it takes forever to heal. You can't force yourself to get better. So I think I'm probably in a good place now. But like, yeah, that's what I'd always wanted was, I had to find my own way there and like the different systems and stuff. Like I'm not really a D&D person, but God, I'm a vampire person. God, I'm a monster of the week person. I'm a kids on bikes person, all of that. And I had to find that, you have to like get through the main and then.
That's definitely, I think that those are probably the two major elements, like finding a GM that suits you style wise.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it can feel very alienating.
Oh my God. Yes.
And, yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah. And then finding systems that you like.
Yeah.
And just being told that there are other systems out there rather than
I feel like shouting that to people. I'm like, you think you don't want to do some like role play, but I guarantee same thing with a horror film. I'll find a system for you. I will find a system. I've run friends actually from Anomaly at the beginning of the lockdown here. I'm like, we gotta do some like when everyone was like, we gotta find stuff to do on Zoom. I ran them through a honey heist, but I based it on Smokey and the Bandit because it was a movie thing. And I was like, see, like I can find you a thing where I think we'll have a good time. And it's a great. It's collaborative storytelling. I love it.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always an element in there that fits people's. You just have to find them.
Yeah, I want to unlock that for them because I feel like the joy I had when I found all these new directions. I'm like, oh no, I can do this. Just the thing that's presented as tabletop role playing is the front, and that's fine. But like, open that door and there's just all these side streets and weird things and
yeah.
You'll find your weird little game.
Back rooms, you're being chased.
Yeah.
God knows what.
Oh yeah, I'm like, oh, of course. Yellow's not my color either.
washes everyone out. Don't worry.
Washes everyone out. I'm at the point like that monster can take me. The lights are buzzing. I hate this. I hate this.
You're not trying to kill me. You're just cranky because of the
Yeah,
lights.
yeah, because the lights. Look at this carpet. Oh, this is the worst. That's the worst part. Not being lost forever, but aesthetics.
Maybe if you're lost long enough, you become one of the monsters.
Oh, then I'll just be a grumpy mon. I'm already there. I think I'm already there.
Okay. So wait, let's see. The creepy thing we had. What part of the town is the center of its community?
Hmm. Okay, so I feel like
Once
they definitely
again,
have
still
yeah.
not sure whether we're on mundane or something.
I feel like it's always gonna be for them. It's mundane. I feel like they definitely have a community center. It's not the mayor's house. They call it the community center, but it's not the center. But it's in the dip. They call it the dip. Sorry, not called the dip.
There you go. See?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think they have a community center. It only has a couple classes, and it's always the same classes. Um, One of them is I don't know. It's a certain craft. I don't know if it's more American than anything, but it's called a God's Eye, where it's like popsicle sticks and then yarn, and you just kind of like circle them around, and you make designs and stuff. They have that, but it's like only red yarn.
I feel like that's something only people from the town understand, but writ
Oh yeah,
over the whole of America.
yeah. So there's a lot of those.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, it's also probably called different. It's one of those regional things, probably too. Like, but you have popsicle sticks and yarn.
Okay.
It's one of those. So they have that class. They have an HTML class. It is 2023. They have and they all have like those big monitors, and it's like with the black screen and green.
Green.
One of them does play Oregon Trail. One of them does play that game, as well as like learning like HTML, making these like green and black little websites.
You have to try and get there early to get that computer.
Oh yeah.
So that to be listening and be like, that's like
that's like the one little bit of like I feel like the teenagers in the town, that's their one little bit of rebellion is the Oregon Trail.
They're all
don't
signed
tell
up
anyone about
class.
it. Yeah. That's their one, like that's them being punk. And
do you reckon they have like those calculators that you can like put basic Mario or something on?
Oh yeah, like all the electronics are old, but oh yeah, absolutely. They're pulling one over on the adults there. And I think the other class is
I'm showing my age.
Well, I got the reference. Don't worry, we are in this together. I guess the other class is civic duty, and it's about all the things you can do to like keep the town clean, like pick up trash, cover any lamps that are on after night. I think it's cleaning the sign.
Light pollution, I mean.
Yeah, cleaning the town sign, like scrubbing real hard on that number in particular. Just to scrub that real hard, but only that one side. You don't gotta worry about the other side. That's not in town. Don't worry about that. Yeah, so I think it's that. It's like, and we love our hill and our glacier carved random shape.
Do you think they have like a little tourist stand there? Something at the glacier.
You know what? I think so. Like a little bit in, if you get in, yeah, I think it's like a little kiosk, like a little outside kiosk. And I think, let's see here, Babs works there, Barbara, but you can call her Babs. And she's very much like, oh my God, like our town is so great. I love when visitors come. And she's super excited when someone comes, like, oh my God, here. She's made her own pamphlets, but like it's with the computer, they have a dot matrix computer. So she has to pull off the little sides and fold them. So they're just like the dot matrix paper. And like, thank you for so much. I love you to visit again. By the end of the day, she's like, wow, nobody ever shows up. Someday someone will, and I'll give them these. Oh, I have to print some more. I wonder what happened to them.
Must have blown away in the wind.
Yeah, those kids those kids are using them for their games. They're making those little like pea
Yeah.
thingies.
Yeah. So do you want to add? Well, I think we added a kiosk and a person working there. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Tell me some strange stuff that's happened in the town. Wow, that's. Is there more strange stuff? Can you come up with it?
We really fast forwarded through this.
No, that's
Hmm,
great.
there's a parade.
Mm.
There's a parade every Orion's Eve. Don't ask them, but they
Zorian's.
know when it
Yeah.
is. They
Uh,
know when Orion's Eve is, right? And I think there's a float from the mayor. It's basically just like a little silhouette of the trench coat and the hat. And this might be another American reference, but there used to be, well, there's still these signs that talk about neighborhood watch, and the icon they have there is always like a dude with like a long hat, and it's just like the
right.
silhouette. So I think it's exactly that. And it has little things on the side like, remember, be courteous, turn lights down at night for your neighbor's sake. So there's that. I think the community center has one that has a little I have a float for each class to remind people that they should go to the classes if you haven't gone to the classes yet. And then they throw out yarn and popsicle sticks. You can make them at home. The cult has a float, and they're like, join us. And our, what do they call it? They call it Starville. That's their compound. We have a potluck every Friday. We have empty huts available. We're friendly. Enjoy. He's always watching. Don't ask who he is. They have a lot of like, I think like banners that are just like behind the float, and they kind of contradict each other. All hail, and they're all there. Gosh, I feel like they wear red robes, and they have this silver embroidery of three dots for a belt, and an eye, two eyes on the back.
So, all right. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and the candy gets thrown. Our Mars candy. Oh my God, wait. And they do have like one, like they don't have clowns or anything, but they do have one kind of costume. It's a bit like a Chinese dragon, except for it's the Mars monster. And as, it has as many humps as there are kids who are willing to wear a hump that time. And then you have an adult who does the head and an adult who does the tail, because those are the ones that can do the most damage if whipped about. They've had a 20 humped one before, but sometimes they've had a 2 hump one too.
Yeah. Sounds like a fun parade.
Oh yeah, it's great. Sometimes it's once a year. Sometimes it was once a week for a while there. And any time in between. You know the day before. That, oh, tomorrow's the
Oh, it's
parade.
tomorrow.
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
Normal goings on.
Normal. So normal.
So
Why
do
wouldn't
you
you
want
want
to?
parades and always being home?
Yeah. And always finding your way home as well.
Oh, exact home. And that's those little thingies, those little like fortune tellers. We always did home on it. It was like an HOME. And every
Yeah.
time you unfold it, it's the same thing though. Like each one, there's no new different like it's
They
like
just
you
all
are
say
home.
home.
Yeah, they all say home. But you know.
And then you find yourself outside your door. Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
home.
oh yeah. I am home.
Yeah. Do you want to add a character, place, or just a name and a 3-word description to this one?
I'm going to go over 3 words. I don't think I've stuck to
I
3 words
know
on any of
the
these on
three
the
words
course of
are.
this.
It's
Um,
just
I think hmm. There is the person who's always the head of the parade, Bob. Their name is Bob, just Bob.
yep.
I think they're like 7 foot tall, and they're always there at the beginning of the parade. And they do seem to be watching who is watching the parade, purely to make sure that people are enjoying it and nobody missed it, because you're supposed to watch the parade. Um, and they have like a top hat. and their head like swivels, almost a little mechanically, but that could just be they're a little stiff.
They also have a beard. Like,
Oh,
is it,
oh
is it
God.
a robot Abraham Lincoln?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe it is now.
Yeah.
Liberated
But,
from
yeah.
an amusement park, and
But
then
for some
found
reason,
a new
no one
purpose.
in the town recognizes
No.
that it's Abraham.
Oh no, that's Bob. That's the only. Oh, that's Bob.
Okay. So we've had some strange stuff going on, definitely. Uh, we've kind of answered this, so you can come up with more strange stuff
Uh,
if you want. Because
uh,
which day headlines the town's calendar? But I
oh
mean, it's
well,
got to be. Is it the parade, or is there another day
no.
even more?
I think there's no. I think there's no. I think. I think there's I think there is a day called it's called Prime Day, but it's not Amazon. It's Prime Day, where actually, you know what? I like Home Day better. It's Home Day. It's the day once a year where you celebrate that you are home, and everyone gets a little package outside their house, like a welcoming basket, even though no matter how long you've been there, which is like we're so glad you're here. You are home. Here are some candies and some yarn and popsicle sticks. Keep making those and hanging them everywhere. A couple tarps for any light stuff. Some
Yeah,
blackout curtains.
yeah.
A couple extra locks just in case.
Locks for your
Doesn't hurt to lock
windows.
your
Just
windows. Yeah, yeah. It doesn't hurt. Like what with the unspoken, like one time Mayor Jack got caught in a house and was banging around the walls for like 2 hours. They had to get a net.
Could hear him from outside buzzing around.
Yeah, just do it. It's gonna be a long night if you just don't close
Yeah,
those windows. Put those blackout curtains out. Wish him a good
yeah,
night. Say good night, Mayor Jack. Ah! There we go. He heard you.
yeah. Now, talking about Mayor Jack, I feel like Mayor Jack leads nicely to $2 creature feature. So-
It's weird because I wasn't even on the season they had to
no,
deal
I
with
know,
Mothman.
but
I love Mothman. I love just the idea. I'm not saying just $2 creature feature
yeah,
Mothman. I just like one of my favorite cryptids
yeah.
out there.
Okay, well, I mean, run with that then. Favorite
Oh,
cryptids. There you go.
oh gosh. Oh god. Okay, well I love a good I love a good Mothman. All the moth folk. I kind of love this idea, but I think I combine them with actual moths in my head. So hey, danger! Ooh, light. I was like, oh, that's kind of cute. I do like there's this is so ridiculous because it was absolutely a camera glitch when it was first recorded. But there's these things called Fresno night crawlers that look like long-legged white
Legs.
ghosts. Yes,
Yeah,
and I'm like, I saw that first day. I'm like, that's absolutely a camera glitch. But the fact that other people have like made their own and that they have entered into like cryptid acceptance, I love. I love them.
yeah.
They're just long leg ghosts. They're just doing they're
Just
ridiculous on
wondering
such a base level. Like, what do? They walk. Most
why.
cryptids have like a
Just
thing.
walk it.
Yeah, you see
Yeah,
Mothman, danger is happening. They had that whole like was it Point Pleasant and people saw it before a bridge collapsed. That's terrifying, right? These are just guys that are walking around. I also do like the Jersey Devil. I love that there is story there about like oh god, I forget the character, but like it's supposed to be some sort of like witch who had a certain number of kids, and that last one was like the devil's child and the Jersey Devil, and he has like goat legs, but like a horse face, but also like leather bat wings. I just think it's funny that he's hanging around like the Jersey Pine
together.
Barrens, which is
Yeah.
so specific. Just hanging out there doing like goat horse things.
With
I,
Batwings.
but that, yeah, I aesthetically, I'm like they went all in. They went all in on the Jersey Devil. I mean, gosh, even as a kid, I love the idea of the Loch Ness monster. I think in my head, I just see her as the classic kind of like some sort of like, uh, like a plesiosaur or something. Like in
Yeah,
my head, I
yeah,
combine
yeah.
her with like a dinosaur. You know, yeah, I know. I've seen all the hoaxed photos. I love the idea, like, oh no, I just put it on a little floater, took a picture. I kind of love that too. I kind of love the hoaxes. I don't think they exist, but I love it every once in a while to open up space in my heart to go, but maybe. But maybe there's some Bigfoots out there. Maybe we'll never know, and that's nice.
Yeah.
I guess I'm always on the cryptid side. I'm always like, I'm not scared. I hope they exist. I hope they're out there doing stuff. I love jackalopes. They're like the rabbits, but with like, well, they're more like hares with like the
Yeah.
antlers. Yeah, no, someone just taxidermied that stuff, but I love the idea. Like out in the desert, there are these
Just
jackalopes.
hopping, well, running, hopping.
Yeah, yeah, well, yeah, doing their thing. Yeah, I love that. Even like the Fiji mermaid, which I'm like, oh my god, that was literally like a mummified monkey and a fish. Like they did that to get money, but I appreciate the creativity.
Yeah.
What if I take one thing and sew it to another thing and then
Pretend
charge
it's
money?
real.
Yeah. This is before TV, kids. Like, you were out in like the Depression. This was your entertainment. See something weird in a tent. I can appreciate that.
That's fair. Yeah.
I think that's what I love about cryptids. Like, do they exist? Probably not, but just in case, I leave that little space.
Yeah.
Maybe I want them
Why
very
not?
badly to exist. Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
I mean, it adds some wonder to the world as
It does. It does. I also like anything where like no one owns it. No one like
well.
one person made it. Usually, it's a thing that has been passed on and elaborated and changed. And I like myths that
Yeah.
people take folklore. I love folklore. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, this is how I know the story, and this is how I heard it. This is the way I tell it, and it all adds to it. Nothing. It doesn't subtract. It always adds to the
Yeah.
to this main core of a story, even if it's just a little white ghost dude with long legs.
Because the
Hey, how's
camera
it going?
fucked up one time.
It's a gift. It was a gift.
Uh, so yeah, I was gonna ask you about two
Oh
Doctor
yeah.
Creature features. I mean, basically, I'm just trying to get season 3 spoilers out of you.
Uh, uh, well, I can tell you one thing, and this was a mistake that the rest of the cast let me do, is they let me start fully feral. There is a lot of biting in the first episode, and it is from my character. I was like, oh no, you allowed this to happen. There's a precedent now.
Do you feel like that was a reaction after Zelda that you were like, this time I
You
thought
know, no, I feel like Zelda was very much a well, she tried to be looked before she leaves. She left a lot in the beginning first because
yeah,
that was family stuff. That's what the Chosen did. Zelda's whole thing was she had to find her own way. Yeah, she can
yeah.
protect people, but she's got to think about it first, do some research. So yeah, I guess I just want to play a character who's like, what's research? Ah!
I can leap, but I'll probably bite you.
Yeah, no, that's right. Like, not the book will only slow this character down, or they might eat it. Yeah, so it was definitely like I love Zelda so much. I'm so proud to be able to play, tell her story. It was
Yeah,
it was so fun to bounce
it
her
was a
off.
great season. So,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, like I mean, we didn't plan our characters like we didn't talk to each other. So
yeah.
I show up with Zelda, and then Laura shows up with Tammy Joe, and Nye shows up with Eric. And we're like, how are these three people going to even like be in the same room together, let alone come together to like help people? And that was great to play with because I'm like, I trust everybody. We'll get there. But like it'll be a
Yeah.
bumpy road. Eric literally stole from Zelda the first
I,
episode.
I was gonna say, like, getting them all together in the same
Oh,
place as well. Spoilers for people who haven't
yeah.
played it yet. Eric did not help out in that regard. Like,
No, I
Nye
think it
was
was
like,
episode
"No,
three or
I'm gonna run
four before
away."
we were all in one place, and it was through a threat. Zelda brought a shotgun. She was done already
Yeah,
before we'd even started. But I like a beginning like that. I mean, it's an interesting beginning. Like if everyone you play characters who already know and work with each other, but gosh, what a fun story to tell. Where we're like, how are these three people that by the end, I don't want to spoiler it, but like I'll tell you, like we all end up working together and considering each other friends. That was, I think, the story that was always going to be told. It was how we were getting there, and could we save Jupiter Hollow and ourselves along the way. And it was just so fun to like organically try to go, okay,
Yeah.
how does
How
like
does it get?
Zelda end up trusting either of these two people?
I do feel like it definitely didn't feel forced as well. It
Oh,
does feel like it's organically, you
it's great
kind of,
because we had no plan. I'm like,
yeah.
this has to happen eventually, but you know what? We have a whole series to figure this out.
I suppose that is the advantage of not having a plan. Then it will come organically one way or
Yeah,
the other.
yeah. Like I gotta go back to it was trust. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know Laura and Nye and Ray are like we're all on the same side. We all
Yeah.
like want these characters to figure it out. So, even like the trust say like when Eric was putting Zelda in a dangerous situation, I told Nye, I trust you. I trust you. So
Not
you take
Eric.
this how far you want to. I'll react to it, but I trust you. I know you're not going to do something like and then Eric shoots Zelda. Like I knew that wasn't going to happen. At least
Yeah.
not without warning because we're telling a story together for other people. So I'm like, yeah, let's do this cuz then we can deal with the aftermath and the growth that comes from that. Like that's one of my favorite moments. That was like episode 10, 11 and 12
Yeah.
when like I think like our first kind of big moments and
Yeah.
it played so well and it was trust. It was like I wherever Nye's gonna do, I'm gonna have Zelda react as Zelda and let's see where this goes. Like Eric will Nye will find the place where Eric needs to go. Wait a second. I'm not the person I'm not this person. And it was nice to give
Yeah.
that space. I'm like, you do your thing. You have your moment and I get to be a part of it.
Yeah. So there you go, people at home. If you haven't heard
Yeah.
it yet, definitely listen to
Yeah.
it. And
Get
season
ready.
3 is coming soon as well.
Yeah, it's all new, new setting, new characters.
Yeah. Right. Let's see. We've only got a couple of questions left, so we're
Yeah,
doing well.
yes.
What are some secret shortcuts?
Hmm. I think okay. So if we have the dip, that means that there are like kind of hills around. It's almost like a donut. I see. It looks like a cruller. Like it's got that, and then you have
Yeah.
the beach, the hill, the indentation. I think that there are tunnels in those
Feels like it's
hills.
a really bad place to be right next to a giant lake if the
Yeah, it's
water
not
level
great. It's
rises.
what? It's fine. They have nothing to worry
Sorry,
about.
Mayor
Don't worry.
Jack.
They're being watched. It's definitely not a big bowl. But I think that there's like tunnels in the hills.
Mm. Mm.
Those don't head home. You have to actively head home when you are underground in those little tunnels. People don't use them a lot. Again, it's more of a teenager thing when you're feeling a little rebellious in
Yeah,
the town. Like I'm gonna go somewhere and it's not gonna lead home. Bam. And eventually you have to emerge. But like there you could, it's you don't know you have to actively think where you're going when you're using the tunnels.
yeah. Which is
There
probably
is one.
difficult for people in
Yeah. Yeah. I think
it's
there's one
nice.
that leads out to the beach.
Yeah,
And there's one that leads to the indentation. And there's one that leads to the little cult compound. So I don't think the cult knows about it. Because why would they want to hide from knowing where they are? And there's a few other ones that are a little unexplored, which is a weird thing in this town for things to be unexplored. One might even lead out of town. And you wouldn't head home.
you won't want to. Yeah, why would you
Yeah,
want
but
to do that?
no one's ever come back from that one.
Um, did they look man-made, or did they look like are they?
I
Do they look
no,
like
I
they've been
think
constructed by anything?
they look perfectly circular, like they were like cored out by something.
Yeah.
They definitely don't have that natural look to them.
Okay. So a person, place, or
Huh.
thing, or for that could be something to do with the tunnels.
Hmm.
Uh, and a short description.
Yeah. Okay. I think that there are occasionally in the tunnels there are these little like little metal boxes. These little metal boxes that a lot of times the teens find every once in a while. And inside, and they're placed in different places. Like someone wants them to be found. And inside, each one is a map. that looks like it's a map of the town. But that's weird because you don't need a map of town. You don't need a map of town, right? And it's real basic. There tells but there is it points to that tunnel that people don't go to, that they're not sure where it goes to, but people don't come back from. And there's a lot of arrows as if these maps are kind of trying to encourage that. And there's usually there's a little flashlight and like a couple like granola bar. There's pemmican in there, and there's also just a little. It's engraved inside that says, "Trust in yourself. Follow the map."
It's kind of counterintuitive. Trust in yourself. Follow the map.
That'd be weird for the town.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we have come to the final question. This one you have to answer both mundane.
I'll try real hard for the mundane. I'll try real hard.
It doesn't matter. You can just come up with two super. What does the town fear?
Well, I'm going to answer two different ways because the people of the town, they actually have, well, they wouldn't call it irrational fear of being lost, of not being able to find their way home. Anytime they get closer and closer to the edge of town, they get nervous. They feel this anxiety, this heavy anxiety that they can't quite manage. The beach itself, not a lot of people spend a lot of time there because that's very close to the edge. And they find it beautiful. The calming red waters of Lake Mars, gorgeous. When the sun set, it looks like it's a simmering cauldron of blood. Very relaxing. But they don't stay there long. Yeah. Up on the hill, even the cultists, like they stay and they feel at first they think it's like I'm closer to the celestial knowledge, but then it's anxiety and they go back down and then they go back home. The town itself fears not having enough belief that it is home. It needs constant validation that it's home. And it needs to have at least a certain amount of residents.
Yeah.
It does not like the tunnels.
Yeah.
Especially that one tunnel. But it can't do anything about it. Except for make people very anxious the farther they get from like the dip.
Yeah. So is it radiating out from the dip then? That feeling of...
I think that makes sense. It's a core.
Yeah.
It's almost literally like that's why there's a dip. Like the closer you're there, the better you feel. You feel like yes. And Mayor Jack is there to listen whenever I need. And I can go to the community center that's just slightly off center. And I can learn everything I need to learn. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Is there anything extra you'd like to add?
I think late at night, late at night at the very center of the dip. So mainly it'd be someone for some reason who found themselves in the mayor's office / home. That's very rare. Or maybe just a walk outside. You could almost hear and perhaps if you see the way the town's laid out, gosh, if something had fallen over there and just kind of rolled over and dug under, gosh, that would explain some of the geological oddities. But why would you ask? This is home.
Yeah.
You don't question home.
That's correct. I mean, I think you've come up with a great strange town, and I'm glad that went.
It's fine. It's comforting. There's nothing weird. This is a lovely place. I've created a lovely place for everyone. You should all go.
Everyone should travel there and
visit Babs at the kiosk. She loves people coming by, but no one ever does. That's sad for Babs.
That's sad.
Sad. Your mail will find you. Don't worry.
Wherever you go.
And you enjoy the taste of red?
Yeah.
We all do.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
And everyone likes to be safe and secure in their house at night.
Exactly. And slightly dim on the outside. That's just being courteous.
Yeah.
Close the door. Close the window. Close the window. What? Oh, damn it. I gotta replace the glass again.
Sorry, Mayor Jack.
Sorry, Mayor Jack.
Yeah. No, that I like it.
That was fun. That's fun. That's
Yeah.
that is a fun location creation system. That
There
was
you go.
solid.
Yep. Thank you for trying it out and
Yeah,
for
I
doing
liked it.
such a
Listen,
good
Mayor.
job of
Yeah. Oh, Mayor Jack didn't exist, and now he does in our hearts
it. Forever.
forever. Oh, I feel bad for Mayor Jack. I'm like, now I'm on Mayor Jack's side.
Well, I mean, we don't know how Mayor Jack ended up there.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Mayor Jack was probably just flying around looking for a big bright light. And then, like, oh, I have to stay here now.
Buzz.
Sad Buzz. And who knows, Mayor Jack probably doesn't even like Mars pieces.
Oh, no. Red's the worst flavor.
So before I let you go, just like to get an idea of what you are looking to be doing in the future. Is there anything you'd really like
Oh.
to do, TTRPG wise,
Oh.
festival wise,
Gosh.
or
Yeah.
I'm asking the difficult questions now.
Yeah, Kristen. Oh no. I gotta think beyond today. That's a rough one.
Yeah.
Festival wise, I mean, I love to see at least a year 10. We just did year 5. We're already thinking about what our theme. This year it was like Lost to Vacation, Bermuda Triangle. We like to do like a vibe. Yeah.
I
So
saw the little pieces that
oh yeah.
like
Thank you. They let me hang up weird stuff. Oh, just give me a second.
right.
Print, tape. We bought so many plastic vines. We spent so much time hanging vines. Oh my god. Now we own a bunch. We'll figure it out. So definitely, I just want to like have a good time with folks doing that again, make an experience. TTRPG wise, I don't know. I guess I'm always looking for a fun story to tell. I don't know. Again, it's trying to find the balance. Like, God, I want to tell every story all the time. Now I've listen.
Do I have time?
Yeah. So I guess now I'm very much specifically like there's certain things. Like I definitely would love to tell like more of like maybe like a short series or something that's like a seasonal thing. Get to do something I haven't done before, but I don't know what that is yet. Like I'm very spoiled with $2 creature feature.
You'd like to run yourself, or
oh god,
any stories you want to tell like that?
I do have one idea, and I think I'm getting to the point now where like, okay, I could probably do like a 3-part series. Like I've been slowly building up my okay, I'll pitch this here, and then I'll see where I love to do this sometime next year. I have this idea because I love it's so funny talking about when we're talking about back rooms. So I love the idea of like liminal spaces, and I love dead and dying malls. And I have an idea, and I think I kind of want to use kids on bikes for this, but to create adults, because the whole storyline would be, you're all adults, and for some reason or another, whether you stayed in the town or you left and came back, you all feel kind of drawn to the mall that's closing. It used to have like 3 anchor stores, and the last one's closing, and when that's gone, it's gone. It's already been done. It's closed up and stuff. But for some reason, you all feel drawn back to this place, and you all have really strong memories here. Like your best of your youth was spent here, and it almost feels like the mall's hungry. Like maybe it doesn't want to die, and maybe as you're kind of having your last little like time here, you start going down hallways and they're not quite how they remember, or the music starts like doing that kind of like weird synth wave, vapor wave, kind of like, oh, I remember. Or wow, it's weird. The arcade's open. again, and you almost find yourself in the mental space of when you were a kid and you had all these memories. And gosh, wouldn't you want to have more memories here? And that's when you start seeing the black wraith shapes that kind of come in and out and seem to be kind of stuck there. And this will be a story about regret and the dangers of nostalgia, and perhaps a hungry force that for a while took the shape of a mall.
Sounds brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it's a kind of an idea I want to play with. At some point, I would like to run that and see where that goes.
Yeah,
Creepy and stuff and weird, a little nostalgic, but in a nauseating way. Like
kids on
it's a
bikes is
trap.
like the perfect system for it as well.
I thought that would just enough structure there.
Yeah. And yeah, I do I do also like the idea of using kids on bikes to make adult characters as well. So,
That's one of the things I thought. Like you don't get to explore
yeah,
adults in that as much, but like
no,
yeah, and you can literally
but
have two sheets. Because I was thinking like you'd have your kid sheet as well. And depending on how
when you
far down
yeah,
like you got back into your memory, I'm like, okay, but you lose stuff when you're not an adult. Like you'll have your kid stuff, but you lose stuff too, and it'll kind of like maybe you don't want to be
I
a kid
like
again.
yeah,
Those
I
rose-colored glass, yeah,
like that idea because yeah, then you have like the opposite
yeah,
progression system of,
yeah,
for instance, a monster of the week or whatever. You're going backwards, like oh, I'm
yeah.
actually worse at stuff now.
Yeah. I get, I don't know.
I like it.
I'm still
Yeah,
tinkering with
cool.
it, but yeah,
Yeah, it's a good idea. Is there anything else you'd like to plug?
Two Down
That
Creature
you're
Feature
doing now?
season 3 coming. Should be sometime next year. We've already recorded a couple episodes, but we're just getting few in the can, edited and ready, so we can hit the ground running. I do a few shows on the channel, The Lawful Geek, both on Twitch and more on YouTube now. A couple of them are on hiatus, but we do actually have a we finished the first season of it's a kids on bike show called Kernels of Mystery. Oddly enough, it takes place in a weird town called Europa, where you do not want to go into the cornfields. Mr. Ray
That's
guested on it as one.
yeah, as
As time
cornfield or
as and actually it's really nice because they're kind of edited cool where we just record it, and then Kevin, who runs it, has edited it where I made a map of the town so that comes on screen. It's also, this is super interesting. There I think it's, god, is it 1984 games? I forget what it's called, but they make these story packs, card packs of like just like different like story elements. So the one thing with Kernels of Mystery is we randomly pick 3 cards in the beginning, and we don't know. We just say like stop shuffling, and then
yeah.
Kevin has 10 minutes to take those 3 cards and make the plot.
Cool.
And then we run it.
No,
So
you have
things
to.
have gotten very weird depending on
Yeah.
like, because there's also like there's the regular deck, then there's like the hell deck, the high water deck, the jungle deck. So then we have to like figure out how this stuff happens in this like small, it's a New Jersey town. And so
Yeah.
that's fun. And the whole first season is up on YouTube, and I think it's real fun. And I know we're doing recording now that the second season will come out once we've recorded everything and it all gets edited together. And it's kind of a nice combo of live recording and then putting it together later, edited and put, so it's it's a nice little produced thing. And it's a bunch of kids
Yeah.
dealing with weird stuff. It's the fun. I I play a pizza delivery person named Darcy who loves her van. It's beautiful. I love my van.
Oh, gonna check that out.
Yeah.
Actually heard any of it yet, so there you go. That's
Oh,
I need things to keep me alive, mostly at work.
yeah. Oh, yes, yes.
Just like,
Please, okay, live. Yes, please watch things live.
yeah. So
And I think that's about it. Everything else, I got
yeah,
I'll know when they're there. I do
yeah,
one shots through Girls Run These Worlds sometime, which is nice because that's
yeah.
just very
Ah,
doable. I'll do a one shot and then take a break,
yeah.
and do another one shot, take a break.
Then you can spread it out as well.
Yeah.
So
I don't
don't
stress myself
have
out
like
too much.
yeah,
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 just enough time to get nervous about it. Do it. Happy I did it. All right, I'll do it again. Give me a month or two.
yeah. And I think you also have a Twitch channel which you mentioned
Uh,
earlier.
oh yes, Murphy Pop Art. And I go in between doing art streams where I'll just draw something, and I have a couple like channel point redemptions where like I'll draw an alien, or I'll put a mustache somewhere on the art, or like I'll draw a tentacle somewhere, just like little fun stuff. Cause that's always a fun. I like taking like little requests like that. Or I play games like I played Cult of the Lamb, which undefeated. Love Cult of the Lamb. Of course I do. It's cute and cult. I was playing Unpacking, which is a fun one. A sticky, generally cozy games, and I consider Cult of the Lamb a cozy game. Yeah, yeah. There's some murder. It's and cannibalism, but
Cozy.
also it's adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cute. But that's more just when I want to. Like it's not a hustle or a side hustle. It's just I every once in a while I just want to hang out a bit and chill and do stuff.
Yeah. Um, and people at home, if you're watching this, the logo, which is down
Oh,
there, is
yeah.
actually by Megan. So there you
Ah,
go.
thank
Thank
you.
you for
Thank you.
that.
I do that. That is my side hustle. Is I have to do like logos and overlays for folks because I enjoy doing it. A little extra cash is great, but also like truly like I think there's a lot of amazing streams and stuff out there, and your visual presentation can get people to watch. I love to be able to help people like put together something so you can take it to that next step. Be like, oh yeah, we got it all together. It's nice. I like that. I like when I can make like an overlay or a promo or stuff or a logo that fits what someone's trying to convey. It makes
Or
me
the front
happy.
and back cover of a book.
It's true. I have it over. You can't see it. It's in the back of the bar.
Yeah. Propping something up or keeping it open.
No, no,
That's
it
what's
is
most
right there by
useful
the
for.
bed.
It's fairly chunky.
No,
You
it is
can
by the
use
bed
it.
there for slow reading because I'm a slow reader.
Yeah, I believe you. Don't worry. No,
Actually,
anyway.
the potatoes next to it now.
There you go. Potatoes reading.
Yeah,
The potato
potatoes are a
has lots of
voracious reader.
eyes, so
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. They can have like 3 to 4
Read
books
12.
going at the same time. I have to turn the pages though.
Oh, there you go. Anyway, thank you for coming on. It's been
Thank you for
great.
having me.
Thank you for having a go building a strange town, which turned out to be very strange.
Yeah, that's a delight. Thank you.
It's a great town. Yeah, and I think that's about it, isn't it? Is there
I,
anything else you have?
I think we've done everything to this
Yep,
town that we can. Now it just exists.
there you go. So take it, people, and
Yes.
try not to get eaten.
Just be nice to Mayor Jack, okay?
Yeah,
Be nice to Mayor Jack. All I ask.
there you go.
Doing his best.
Okay. Wow. Thank you, Megan. And thank you, everyone at home, for watching. And this has been So Much Game with Words That Make Worlds. Hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you next time. In the meantime, stay safe, stay gaming. Bye.